we've already kind of validated what they have, but we just want to double validate, just to be secure. So the plan is that I'm gonna be in charge of like this, I guess, this process. So if you need any help, contact me on most of these issues. It's basically contact me or ask Colonel. And if you're absent for any reason, be ready to hand this off to another person. So just be aware of that. If you know anyone or trust anyone to do this, then give it to them. Now, if you're a flight advisor, I mean, here's a list. May vary, like Kirby or Bradley or Tucker or Grundle, depending of who's available. Um, the flight advisor are those who need to be on wings and have an updated class roster, which I'll probably do it for you. And also has the folder, and basically you'll use this folder. It contains the needs form, and I'll talk about that process in a second. But basically, you'll create a document from that roster. You'll put all the names on it, and then below each name, you'll put has the needs, kind of like this. Um, and then you'll go onto Wings and look for, you go to cadet management, cadets, and then you'll search each name. So let's do Jacob Anderson, for example. And then you go to awards, and then you'll look here and let's say for what ribbon? Service ribbon. Let's say he had a service ribbon and a oak leaf. So, or he has what is it? Color guard and a oak leaf. Now, if you had a service ribbon and an oak leaf, you would put it like this: service ribbon and plus one oak leaf. And then if you're just putting the ribbon, then you just put service ribbon. And then if you're doing the oak leaves, this is only going to happen for needs, is that you do plus whatever oak leaves, and then in brackets form the ribbon name. So activities ribbon is, for example. Then from there, um, you'll like I said, look on wings, put that under has. Then for the needs, you'll use the folder that contains all these need sheets, um, and put that in. Um, they're just, if it's checked off, then that means it's the ribbon, and then off to the side it has how many oak leaves. So you have to use that to do that for the needs. And that's basically it. All the advisor really has to do. Now the tricky part with the specialist gets a little tricky. You really have to be here. So like I said, if you're absent, please have someone ready to fill in for you. You'll receive the folder by me or in a cabinet or by Colonel. You'll verify the need sheets that are in the folder um, with each person. So there's only a couple of the need sheets that need to be verified. If they aren't part of the stack that's paper clipped, those are ones that need to be verified. So they'll either have like a circle around it and they'll say, um, how did you get this, or who did you recruit? You just need to validate that with Colonel and the cadet. Now I think one period, all the sheets are good, so they're already all paper clipped. But like I said, if they're not part of that paper clip, they need to be confirmed. Then you'll give that folder to the flight advisor, which is a big part because the flight advisor has to create that document by Tuesday, which I'll get to in a second in the timeline. But you'll give it to the flight advisor, and then on Tuesday, um, the I guess Colonel will print out the document the flight advisor created. You'll basically print out two or three of them. Minimum is two of those sheets, and one of them you'll use as a main document, and then the other one you'll cut up into slips. You give each slip to the slips will just be like this: name a cadet has needs, and then each cadet has one individually, and you'll just go up to them and say, this is what you have and this is what you need, verifying that with the cadet. At there's any problems, if they need to change anything, write it down on a separate piece of paper, contact me, I'll validate it. Then once I validate it, you can put it on the main document only at that point when I validate it. But just put it on separate piece of paper just in case a couple days go by, or not, a couple hours go by. That way you still have it on hand, or you can just text it to me. Just verify that's what they have and that's what they're getting. Simple, simple. Just make sure you get the folder to the flight advisor. I mean, that's earlier, sorry. Just make sure that that's what they have and that's what they need, because that's basically the main part of this plan is accounting for everything. Now on Wednesday, we'll hand out ribbons and the racks. And on that main sheet, if there's any changes, we'll have to when we're giving it out, you'll have to look at the has and the needs and figure out what the rack number is. That's how many ribbons they have. So just be aware of that. When handing out ribbons and giving out the ribbon rack, you'll also assist them of how to use the ribbon rack and what order it goes in. The order is basically highest to lowest. So COVID-19, or it's not even the COVID-19, it's some CAP awards, the last ribbon. But if we're looking at AFGRTC specific ribbons, the COVID-19 is the last ribbon, and then the first one's, I forget what it is, but you just put it from, number 1 all the way down to I think it's 56 now. 56 being last, 1 being first. And then lastly, if there isn't any ribbons to issue out, so let's say this person had a service ribbon plus oak leave, then you'll have to make get a separate sheet and put not available, and then you'll put needs blank, so that service ribbon plus how many oak leaves, because you can't get that oak leaf if you don't have that service ribbon. And if it's just one ribbon, it's just obviously you put that one ribbon. And there's gonna be some ribbons, specifically the service ribbon, where we don't have that, so you're going to have to do that. And then once you do that on that separate piece of paper, take a picture of it, send it to me, or you can text it to me. That way I can create an order to order those ribbons, and then later on you'll give it to them. But if there's any problems, contact me. Just the big parts are just verifying this is what they have, this is what they need, and basically giving out those ribbons and making sure they know how to put it on correctly. Now, timeline wise, is that Friday we're verifying all those need sheets, because there's not that many. There's only like a few. And then handing that off to the advisor. And then before Tuesday, that flight advisor has to get that sheet done, and then send it to me or Colonel. And then Tuesday, you'll hand out the slips and keep the main document and verify with cadets. And then tell them to bring in their ribbons. I forgot to add that on here, but we got to make sure that we tell cadets to bring in the ribbons. And then on Wednesday, we'll hand out ribbons.